Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Beneath a Steel Sky. In the first video, we got the background story on our current playable character, Robert Foster, who ended up in the Gap after a plane crash that took the life of his mother. And from there, he lived there for many years and became a part of the people of the Gap and learned to create a robot and learn some other skills, especially how to survive. And unfortunately, the people of the city apparently want him back for some reason. By force, Robert went peacefully, but then they blew up the village. And on the way to the city, the plane crashed, and we fled to this factory. Fled is the proper word I should be using. We fled into the factory. And from here, we rebuilt Joey. Well, we didn't really rebuild him. We kind of put his chip in a junk bot. But anyway, we're trying to avoid being caught by Reich and his other officers. And so far, we have a transporter droid that we don't know how to fix. We have an elevator, we've got a couple of display panels, and we can explore further. Let me see if we can... Actually, let's...
There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it.
One video in, and I keep forgetting that right-click is used and left-click is examine.
There's no obvious reason why this droid isn't working.
So you can't use it, and you can't tell why it's broken. Thankfully, we can talk to Joey and ask him if he can start the transporter.
Can you start that transport?
How do you expect me to do that? I'm just a cleaning droid, remember?
And,
Can you start that transport?
You don't give up, do you? Have you found out what's wrong with it?
No, I'm not sure.
Right, apparently you have to keep asking him if he can start the transporter, and on the second try, you should get something else.
Can you start that transport?
You don't give up. Have you found out?
No.
Well, let's see if we can look at it again.
There's no obvious reason why this droid isn't working. There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it.
And I doubt that talking to Joey now will give us...
me to do that? I'm just a clean...
Yeah, we won't be able to get anything from him if we keep doing this.
No.
Nope. Okay. And there's an elevator here.
An elevator to the floor below.
And it looks like we'll have to use this to get around. I don't know if I looked at the display panels. I'll go ahead and look at them again.
Lights and a keyhole, but no sign of a key.
Yeah, I did look at these. I'll do it again anyway.
Flashing lights like these can be hypnotic.
And let's see what happens if we try to use the display panels.
There's no way of changing the sequence.
And I don't know why we have to go all the way around here.
There doesn't appear to be
I'm going to the
anything wrong with it.
transporter. That's what I'm doing wrong. This is kind of pixel perfect here.
I can't operate it without the key.
Well, let's go ahead and see if we can use the elevator in any way. Apparently we cannot.
Hey, what are you doing?
Weren't you told? Routine inspection.
Well, keep off that elevator. Your weight set the alarm off. And I can't concentrate with all that noise.
The old guy's right, you moron. That lift's designed for light machinery. Not a hulking animal like you.
Where did you get that robot?
I built him. Like it?
It's crap, son.
So apparently if you step on the elevator without meeting this guy, you get a few more lines of dialogue than usual because you've never talked to this guy before. And if you follow him over to here, you can go ahead and talk to him. We're pretending to be an inspector. just to kind of cover our escape here.
Excuse me.
What now?
I mean, if you go in here first, Robert Foster says, "Hey, I'm an inspector. We're doing a routine inspection." And so because of that, yeah. I'm not sure if I showed that off in the first video or not. It's been more than a day since I recorded the first video. But I might as well mention that anyway. So, we can now talk to this guy. And we can start asking him some questions, such as who's in charge around here.
Who's in charge around here?
Not me. I just work it. Hobbins is the name.
Who's in charge, and where can I find him?
It's Lamb you'll be wanting. He's the supervisor.
I see. And who does he work for?
The council, of course.
And we now know about somebody new, Supervisor Lamb, who runs this facility, whatever it may be. And he works for the council. We might as well ask about the council.
Tell me more about the council.
They govern the city, with the help of Link.
What's that?
The computer they built as their advisor.
Ah, so there is a computer running everything here called Link, it seems. You might as well ask what things were like before Link.
What was it like before Link?
Ah, those were the days, son. We didn't have the problems we got now.
So who built the computer?
Search me. Flipping research scientist, probably.
So apparently Link is this computer that seems to run everything in the city. And apparently it's kind of turned the city into a bit of a dystopia. I'm kind of reminded of Power Blade for the NES, thinking about this, where back in Power Blade you had to fight off hordes of robots being commanded by a supercomputer gone amok. We can also ask about the fire exit, which we used to get away from that officer in the first video.
How come your fire exit leads nowhere?
You've been up there. It's not safe.
I could see that.
If you break your legs, don't come running to me for sympathy.
Yeah, it's a good thing we can't really die in this game. Not very much, and, well, if we were, that'd probably be one way of doing it. But thankfully, this is a game made by Revolution Studios with the Virtual Theater engine. Second one, in fact, Lure of the Temptress was the first, and I don't know if I'll ever play that one, because that one gave me a little bit of trouble, but that's another story. Yeah, it's already been established that that platform we used to get away from the officer was not the safest one in the world. Anyway, we can now ask where we are.
Where am I?
You're in the Union City recycling plant.
So we now have a name to this city. Union City, and that this is a recycling plant. What they're doing here, or rather, what's being recycled here, that's what I meant to say, hard to tell. But we don't want to know about that. We want to know how to escape.
What's the best way out of the city?
You'll have to get to ground level first. You're at the top of Erie Tower block.
Can't I use your elevator?
No, you can't. It's not built for humans. And besides, it only goes down to the furnace.
So we now know more about the elevator. It takes us down to the furnace, which isn't really going to lead us anywhere. So we need to find another way to get to ground level.
So how do I get to ground level?
There's an elevator out on the walkway. Of course, you can't reach it right now.
Why not?
Because Reich's boys are guarding the exit from the plant.
So there's another elevator but we can't use it because security is all over it. Let's go ahead and ask him about his elevator.
How come your elevator's not working?
It's activated automatically by the transport robot.
Interesting. Go on.
What's wrong with the transport?
It's broken down. Again. It's probably the Doppler charge thingamajig. But I haven't got time to mend it now.
Although maybe we may be able to do it. Anyway, let's go ahead and ask what security want. Let's just play dumb here.
What did security want?
After a saboteur. You seen anything suspicious?
Who, me? Nah, not really. It doesn't really matter which one we pick. I'll just pick the latter.
Only an overzealous security agent.
That would be Reich. Best to avoid him and his bully boys.
Apparently Hobbins doesn't seem to like Reich and the security guards either. And apparently we can figure out what goes on in here after all. You might as well ask.
What goes on in here?
It's me workshop. Like it?
Doesn't matter what we pick, but it's something.
It's very impressive. A symbol of dehumanized society. The futile struggle against entropy.
Symbol my bum. Only thing this symbolizes is 30 years of hard graft.
And we might as well ask what he is making.
What are you making?
It's a special job. A drive shaft. Lamb needs it for the pipe factory.
So he's making a drive shaft for the pipe factory. Well then. Well, we might as well go ahead and get on with the inspection. It's not really an inspection.
I'll get on with my inspection.
You do that, son.
And now it's time to do other things. And by other things, I mean fix the transporter. Let me see what happens if we can right-click again, which we will.
There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it.
Now, if Joey... Okay, he doesn't have to return to us.
Can you start that transport?
How do you expect me to do that? I'm just a cleaning droid, remember?
It's the, Knopfler charge reducer thingy.
In that case, all it needs is a jump start.
And now that we know what is broken,
This is embarrassing, Foster. You're not gonna watch, are you? I always suspected you of being a voyeur.
Come on, just do it.
Here goes.
we can now fix this thing. And apparently Joe...
How was it for you?
As I was saying, apparently Joey has a sense of humor. Now what happens if we go over here? Okay. We have now fixed the transporter robot. And it will now be able to take something to the elevator. Now, even though we went into this room, the transporter will come back because this is how the virtual theater engine works. As I mentioned earlier, this is the second game to use the virtual theater engine, the first one being Lure of the Temptress. And by watching this thing go, we can now...
It's dark down there and hot.
look at the hole and see what's going on down there. And yeah, as Robert Foster just said, there is a furnace down there. Well, he didn't exactly say that. Hobbins told us that, but given his description, Yeah, there's a furnace down there. Now you're probably thinking that you could go down there when the elevator is down. That's what you're tempted to do. But I think if you were to do that, let me go ahead and do this just to be safe. If we were to right click on the or left click, we did left click on the thing.
It's dark.
Yeah, you
down
can't
there
go down there.
and hot.
I wonder if we restore. Okay, we can go back to this exact instant in time. We can right click it to get even more of a description. And that's not exactly what I wanted to do. So you can do that, but there are some things that we can do. What I want to do is I want to wait and then get on this thing again. Now by doing this, we'll get Hobbit's attention again.
I told you to stay off the elevator. That alarm is driving me spare.
We can now go in here and while he's not looking, we can get a wrench. Now there is a sandwich there. You actually don't need it for anything, but I'm gonna get it anyway once the elevator comes back. Yeah, I want to make sure that I have an elevator to use, so that way I can use it. Which means we're gonna drive them nuts
Oh,
again.
not again? Are you trying to wind me up?
Just double checking.
Oh, flipping inspectors.
Okay, get in there. Get in there. I've never gotten that dialogue. I didn't get that in the Twitter tryout. Oh, and he closed the door too. Okay, get out of there. And we took his lunch. He won't notice a thing. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't think you really need the sandwich for something. I'm gonna go ahead and save the game real quick. And left click? Okay, there we go. The meat is mostly fat and gristle, which appears to be in the early stage of putrefaction, which means it's getting a little stale. And we might as well look at the wrench too. The tool is a standard 30mm wrench. So let's go ahead and can we use it on ourselves? Can we use it on ourselves at all? I don't think we can.
Give
Can-
me an analysis, Joey.
It contains flour, water, vegetable oil, salt, egg, garlic, with glycerin and pig lungs.
Oh, disgusting.
I blame the pig lungs being in the description. So now that we have a wrench and a sandwich, I wonder. I know that there's something else that he does. Apparently this thing will stop spinning and apparently not. I know that there's a laser that runs this, or a laser that runs in this area, and I didn't mean to click on that, but if we do this, if we wait for the transporter to come back and wait for the elevator to go down, we can right-click the not the elevator, but we can right-click the hole, and we can go down that way. And I think we need the wrench for what we're going to do. That's my best guess anyway. So yeah, you get on the elevator, Hobbins tries to get the alarm to stop working with the display panels, and you go in, you take the wrench, you take the sandwich, if necessary. You don't really need the sandwich for anything. And we now have a lock and a door.
No buttons, just a thin slot.
So after you get the wrench and the sandwich, you can wait for the transporter to put something on the elevator. You right-click the hole, you come down here, and I believe that once you go down here, you can't come back. So that's why I didn't want to come down here without anything. And from here, okay, we can't use the lock on the wrench, and we can't use the door. And from here, we can talk to Joey. I believe we'll be able to ask him about other things, including how to open the door. But that will have to wait until the next video. So join me next time where we go through this door after asking a bunch of questions. And from here, we should be able to continue our way towards the ground level. So, until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!